Good evening, everyone.
Yeah, good evening. Good evening. I can hear you.
Okay. Once again, I would like to welcome all of you to this online roundtable discussion. Today promises to be insightful, educative, inspiring, and this is a topic that is very, very vital for every pharmacy student, because a lot of us don't even know what this topic is about. So if you're here today and you're a pharmacy student, just know that you're in the right place. I am Enai Onaji, a student of Ahmadu Bello University, and I'll be the moderator for today's session. Without wasting much of our time, I would like to enjoin the participants to introduce themselves at the chat section, or simply raise your hand and unmute yourself to introduce yourself. So if you want to introduce yourself here, you could just raise your hand so you get unmuted, and then you could introduce yourself. Okay, I want to assume that all of us would do that on the chat section. So I would go straight to the next thing for today. Today we're having three different people, three different icons here to speak to us about our topic. And the topic for today is active participation in professional associations, PANS, IPSF, YPG, and so many other associations. So we have three icons which are going to speak to us on this topic, and bet me, we have these people are like the best people you could ever imagine that would speak to us on this topic, because they are people that have gone through the whole process. We as pharmacy students, we're always complaining that there's no time, there's no this, there's no that. These are people that have gone through everything, and with that, even at that, they're still able to excel in these different associations. So I would like to encourage us to get our pens, our papers, be ready to jot, get your questions, bag your questions, because there will be time for that. And then just open up your heart and be ready to learn and listen. So first of all, for today, we have Lazarus Ejeje. Lazarus Ejeje is a pharmacy student from the University of Uyo, Akwa Ibom State. He's a member of Pharmaceutical Association of Nigeria, what we popularly call PANS, and he has volunteered for several NGOs and has participated in many health awareness program campaigns and outreaches. He works assiduously with the public health team of PANS, the University of Uyo, and the Anti-Drug Misuse and Abuse Program. Lazarus has served as the local liaison officer, LLO, of IPSF in his chapter. He is the co-founder of Living the Dream Initiative and is currently the IPSF contact person for PANS in Nigeria. Lazarus Ejeje, you're welcome to this session. We're so happy to have you, and we hope that you're going to enjoy having a conversation with us here at Pharma Incubation Hub. The next person we have here is also an icon, from Ethel Mba. We're so happy to have you here, Ma. From Ethel Mba is a graduate of pharmaceutical sciences from the prestigious University of Port Harcourt, where she was actively involved in the activities of International Pharmaceutical Students Federation, IPSF. She served as a secretary at the 7th African Pharmaceutical Symposium in Nigeria, 2018. Upon graduation, she went on to bag a master's degree in advancing clinical pharmacy practice at the University of Hertfordshire, where she was a part of the Catholic Student Society and Pharmacy Student Society. She became the national chairman, YPG, that's Young Pharmacist Group, and the third woman to occupy that position. She was an ad hoc program manager, AEFI surveillance at the Institute of Human Virology, Nigeria, from August 2021 to December 2021. She was also a chairperson, conference planning committee of YPG. We're so happy to have you here, Ma. It's actually an honor to have someone like you in our midst, someone that has gone through someone that has gone through almost everything we're worrying about, and then it's just so much to have someone like you speak to us about this. You're highly welcome. The next person we have here is Akpos, a pharmacy student at University of Jos Plateau. Akpos Adigizi is a pharmacy student of University of Jos Plateau State. He is currently a member of Healthy Liver Initiative, Nigeria, Beacon Youth Movement, Lafia, Nasarawa State. He is part of a mental initiative and Smartel Agro Company. He's also held positions ranging from class representative from 2016 to 2021. He was a team coordinator. He won the Holtz Prize in the University of Jos. That was in 2020. He's the president of Pharmaceutical Association of Nigerian Students, University of Jos chapter. That was 2021 till date. And he is currently the human resource personnel for mental initiative. That is so much for one person, and I'm not even done. He has his initiative, which he formed, a group called Manual Graphics, where he teaches young adults and mentors them. He's also a campus ambassador for the Women at Risk Foundation. How do you do all that? Like, I'm baffled. You're so welcome to this session, Akpos Adigizi. We're so happy to have you here. So without wasting much time, I'm going to leave the floor open for each of our invited guests to have an opening remark for all of us, and that would be for 5 minutes. Each of you would have 5 minutes to give your opening remark, and you could carry on with or without a prepared slide. So I would just leave the floor open first to Farm Ethelmba, if you're here.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me? Hello? Can you all hear me?
Yes, Ma, I can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, okay. I am currently in the middle of something. Can the other speakers go on and I'll quickly join in a few minutes? Is that okay?
Yes, Ma, that's totally fine. So we are going to move over to Lazarus Ejeje. Ma, please, when you're available, can you just signify by raising your hand so I can let you in?
Sure, thank you.
Hello, good evening, everyone. Hello, can you guys hear me?
Good evening. We can hear you, but you're not very audible. So if you could just correct that.
Okay. Is it okay now? Can you hear me very well now? Hello? Hello, can you hear me?
Lazarus, we can hear you.
Okay, is it okay now?
Yes, it's better. It's better.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Ms. Moderator, for the wonderful introduction. And my co-speakers and Farmer Hub, Farmer Incubation Hub, and the participants. Obviously, it's a privilege for me to speak in the midst of these my co-speakers, because it's actually a privilege. Yes, I won't take much time. They say it's a brief introduction. I'm to speak on active participation in pharmacy organization, special focus on IPSF. Yes, I'll be going straight to a brief introduction. Let me say a brief overview of what IPSF is all about. I want to know whether you guys are still getting what I'm saying. Hello, can you guys hear me?
We can hear you. We can hear you. Just go on.
Okay. Yeah, before I do that, just as the moderator said, my name remains AJJ Lazarus, the current IPSF contact person for fans. So we'll be moving into brief introduction to IPSF, what it entails. Now, if you look very well, most time we fans don't used to know that there is another global association that governs affairs of pharmacy students in the world. Now, if you go to different chapters or different universities, you find out that most people don't even know the meaning of IPSF. So here I'll be telling you the meaning of IPSF, what they stand for. This is a brief history. I won't be going deep because I think there is no much time to do that. So I'll give room for other ones to talk. Then, what is IPSF? Basically, what is IPSF? I know most of us might have come across the acronym IPSF. Now, IPSF stands for International Pharmaceutical Students Federation. Now, IPSF as an organization is the leading international advocacy organization for pharmaceutical students and recent graduates, promoting improved public health through provision of information, education, networking, and range of publications and professional initiatives. Then you'll be wondering, how did IPSF started? Because I know even in France, there are people that come up with the idea, let's create France, let's have association that govern pharmacy students in Nigeria. That was the same way people brainstormed to come up with what IPSF, how IPSF come about. Now, the history of IPSF, it was founded in London in 1949. Then with 8 member countries, and I want to mention those countries. Now, with first there is Austria, Swiss, Australia, then third Denmark, fourth Iceland, Ireland, the Netherlands, Switzerland, and United Kingdom. Now, I want you to know that IPSF is the oldest faculty-based international student organization in the world. Then if you doubt, you can do it to Google it. Yes. So I want you to know that. And presently, if not more than, we have 500,000 pharmacy and pharmaceutical science students and recent graduates over 101 countries worldwide that is active in IPSF. You can see how wide and how good IPSF is. It's a very, very good and a very known organization in the whole world. I want to know if you guys are still getting what I'm saying. Hello?
Yes, sir, we are getting it.
Absolutely.
Okay. Now I'll proceed.
Please carry on.
Okay. So now I'll be talking on the structure of IPSF. Now, in every organization, there is always a structure. When it comes to, even if it's a church organization, there is also a structure that oversees the affair of that organization. If you do away with structure, even in pharma incubation hub, there are people that are executive overseeing the affair of this organization or initiative. Now, the structure. One, we'll be talking about the General Assembly. Now, the General Assembly is the highest decision-making body of IPSF. Yes. And is held during the World Congress, usually in August. Yeah, usually in August, like this year's role. This year's role was held at Egypt. So it was within that August that it was held. So now, then each IPSF member organization representatives are present and they are called official delegates. Like as Nigeria is, where the CP and the national president can, attend the World Congress. It's not as if it's only two of them. If you have the money to go, yes, you will go. Like you can source up money, fund yourself and go. But for PANs to be represented, then two people, the CP and the president, or probably the SEO, the student exchange officer, would be the two official delegates that will be representing PANs in World Congress. Then other structures, which are the executive committees, we have the president, we have the president-elect, we have secretary general, we have treasurer, chairperson external relations, chairperson internal relations, chairperson of media and publication, chairperson of pharmacy education, chairperson of professional development, chairperson of public health, chairperson of student exchange, then chairperson of the upcoming World Congress, always the chairperson that organize to oversee how things will be done. Like this 2023 will be holding at Bali in Indonesia. So now there will be a chairperson that will oversee that. Then lastly, is the 5 chairperson of the regional offices. Now the regional offices, I will talk about it here. Then we have Afro. Afro is our own, it is African regional office. We have Afro Asia Pacific regional office. We have EMRO Eastern Mediterranean regional office. We have Euro, that is European regional office, and we have PARO, Pan American regional office. Now our own is Afro, which we also have our regional working group in Afro. Then because of time constraints, I will be going deep to that, which is all about chairperson of regional office, which are regional Africa, then the other regional relation officer, regional project officer, and a whole lot of them. So yes, we are going to talk about all you like, whether to see yourself as a member or maybe you are not a member of IPSF. Basically, when it comes to membership, we have a full member. That is what you call full member. You have member in association. We have individual member. We have not honorary honorary. Hello.
Sorry to come in at this point. It was everything you're saying is really interesting, but you might have to start rounding up because we're being time conscious.
To round up.
Yes.
Okay, no problem. I'll do that now.
All right.
So when it comes to membership, basically, as I was saying, you as a student doing the PAN side, automatically you are a member of IPSF because PAN is a member organization. Now, if you want to be an individual member, you can actually do that. You have to pay to get that. Then pharmacists, young pharmacists who have not exceeded 4 years after graduation is also a member, which the very person is also enjoying the membership of PANS as an association. Now, to round it off, yes, there are many things to gain in IPSF. There are many things to gain while actively participating in IPSF. One thing is that you gain, at least if you know, you won't have another thing. There's any way you work with IPSF that your life will remain the same. One, there's going to be something, personal development. Obviously, you are going to be time conscious. All this African time, you hardly see it in IPSF because their one is one. Then there are many opportunities, internship. When you talk about grants, you talk about and you get to connect, networking. Yes, those are the things you gain. Obviously, IPSF doesn't pay you volunteer to work with IPSF, but at the end of the day, you'll be happy that you did. So with this full point of mind, I would love to draw the curtain of the introduction or maybe overview of what IPSF is all about. Then if you want to know more, then you can actually go to their website and read more about them. Thank you for listening to me.
Thank you very much, Lazarus. That was a very good one. If you work with IPSF, your life will never remain the same. I like that. I like that part. So I'm going to call on Akus Adigizi to give his opening remark. If you're here, can you kindly shoot?
All right. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Am I audible enough?
Yes, you are. You are. Very much.
All right. Standing on all existing protocols, since I have just 5 minutes, I want to thank Pharma Incubation Hub for inviting me. I see it as a great honor and privilege to speak to the fourth cohort. And I want to also thank my co-speakers, Lazarus and Pam Etelumba. I think this is the first time I'm having the opportunity to, maybe interact in a platform like this. And thank you, the moderator, for a fantastic introduction. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Well, my name is Akus Adigizi Manuel. I am the current PANS president, University of Jos. And I believe the reason why I've been reached out is to, share my personal experience or the motives or the benefits of, or the drive, what has been driving me to participate actively in PANS. And I think the key things that have driven me to go into PANS actively is nothing but the love and the passion I have for my profession. Why? Because I see PANS as the first point of contact as a pharmacy student in Nigeria. This is the umbrella that governs the affairs of pharmacy students. Once you're admitted, I think we are expected to pay a fee or a dues. I don't know if it's the same for all associations, for all chapters in Nigeria. So even if you don't pay separately, there's a way it's being remitted from your school fees or faculty dues. So in essence, as long as you're a pharmacy student in Nigeria, you're automatically a member of PANS. Are we getting? You're a member of PANS, and PANS stands for Pharmaceutical Association of Nigerian Students, not Nigeria. Are we getting it? So there are lots of benefits that I've gained as a person, having involved myself and still involving myself in PANS. And I think my active participation in PANS actually started in my year one. You know, I can't I can never forget to thank God for that first time exposure I had when I went for the PANS convention in 2017. That's the Obafemi Awolowo University. It was just by chance, but since then, the whole ideology about PANS and my academics changed completely. And since then, I was able to contest for the office of the National Deputy Editor-in-Chief in 2019. So I was National Deputy Editor-in-Chief of PANS 2019. I also contested to become the National Assistant Secretary General of PANS in 2020 when the secretariat was at University of Port Harcourt. That of 2019 was at Usman Danfodio University, Sokoto. Then 2021, I was able to contest for the chapter presidency in my university, and I won the election. And I believe this didn't just start overnight, and I could easily trace it back to my first encounter when I went to Obafemi Awolowo University. You know, I went to the convention and everything was just looking strange, you know, meeting people from different parts of the country for the first time. And I think that was my first time traveling to Osun State, you know, by road. You know, I think the whole experience started from the journey, from just, you know, spending 10 to 12, maybe 16 hours on the road, you know, traveling to an unknown a destination for the very first time. So the students I travel along with, I think I was the only 100 level student in that in the delegate vehicle. I was the only 100 level student. So the first point was for me to, you know, leverage on the fact that I'm with my senior colleagues and I had no options but to start interacting with them. They started laughing with me. We began to exchange, you know, jokes and all. So it was a very good start for me. You know, I went to the convention, you know, met other people from other universities, and you know that was the beginning of the journey. So I'm just here to just give a recap or benefits that I've actually gained from PANS. And maybe during the question and answer sessions, you can ask me questions and I'll be able to share some of my personal experiences with you. I think this slide has actually been going on, but I think I'll just go back and start with you being active in PANS actually gives you this opportunity to take part in the decision-making process of the body. And that goes to say that everything you see happening in PSN, that is Pharmacy Council of Nigeria, NAFDAC, all the regulatory bodies in our pharmacy profession, the bedrock of everything actually starts from PANS. You know, in every association or organization, there are sets of rules that bind the members together. So if you're actively involved in PANS, you'll be aware of some of the policies that are in the national constitution and the different chapters constitution. You understand? If you're members of the Senate, you'll be able to like contribute. I think recently there was a committee that was constituted to review the constitution of PANS National. I think it's being reviewed after every 4 years. So imagine being a member of this committee. You know, you'll be part of people that will set rules and policies that will govern members, students, pharmacy students in Nigeria. So it's not actually different from people, the PSN, that's Pharmacist Council of Nigeria. These are people that set the rules that govern the affairs of pharmacy profession in Nigeria. So, actively involving yourself in PANS gives you that opportunity to leverage on how you can make decisions for people to follow, and also it will expose you to leadership skills, having been the national editor-in-chief, assistant secretary general, and now the president. I think I've been in the National Executive Council for 3 to 4 years. I was in the 45th National Executive Council, 46th National Executive Council, 47th, and now the 48th. Although largely what actually contributed to this is the industrial action and then let's say crisis in jobs. Our academic calendar is actually low. It's very slow. I was elected the president last year, and up to now, I'm still in my first semester. I posted it on my WhatsApp status yesterday. I think yesterday I clocked 1 year in office, but I've not done anything. I'm still in my first semester. So these are some of the things that actually made me stay longer in the National Executive Council. But apart from that, having engaged actively in PANS, I've also been able to learn how to manage my time, in an engaging capacity. It's not easy. I know that this is the question that is in the mind of everybody. How do you manage your time, PANS, academics, how pharmacy is stressful and all? The truth is, it's not easy. But thank God that you are having somebody that has passed through this to some extent, and I'm now speaking to you. So you now leverage on the opportunity on my mistakes, and you now make corrections. And I think you'll be able to excel through and manage your time in pharmacy school and still participate actively in PANS. PANS will also give you this opportunity to meet and network with like-minded people, individuals, to build your people relations skills. Going for conventions, going for symposiums, you meet a lot of people from different backgrounds, different beliefs. The beauty of the whole thing about PANS, especially to me, is the fact that there is no state in Nigeria that I can travel to and I'll be stranded. And at the same time, I don't think there's anybody in this Nigeria from any background that I cannot relate with. Like, I know a little bit about your background. At least I've been to 26 to 27 states in Nigeria, and I think largely is because of PAN. Is either going to source for fun?
Sorry to interrupt you, but
Okay.
you'd have to round up now.
Okay, so
We're being time cautious.
all right. If you engage actively in PANS, you learn how to manage projects. As a PANS president, there are a lot of projects I have to execute, and you can't just wake up and say, "Oh yeah, now this project execute itself, it won't work." So you gain practical experience. How to balance your life, your academics, your social life, your spiritual life, and the rest. You build social and career networks across board. Like, I have friends, within and outside the country as a result of my active participation in PANS. You tend to leave your comfort zone and broaden your horizon. And then a whole lot of other benefits. And I think the most important thing about the whole thing about PANS is exposure. There's this quote that one can never be greater than his or her level of exposure. If you see somebody today, whatever the person is as a result of what he or she has been exposed to. So if you see me today, it is because of the things that PANS has exposed me to that has made me who I am today. So thank you very much. I will be expecting your questions. Thank you very much. And sorry for taking your time.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Apus. Oh, it's actually a discussion. It's going to be a discussion. We at Pharma Incubation Hub, we have so many questions for you. And I heard you you mentioned something about leveraging on the mistakes you've made. And we definitely don't want to have to invent the wheel. So all of those mistakes you were talking about, would like you to capture it in the course of the discussion. So for now, I would just like to move over to our questions. Some of the questions we have for you and the other guest speakers. We're going to hand over our first question to Lazarus Ejeje. I don't know if you're still here.
Apologies, Inahi. I'm not sure if Ethel is still with us. If she is, she could address us briefly. I know she's in the middle of something very important, and yeah, we will appreciate every little time that we can have to hear her speak with us. Ethel.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, ma.
All right. Just give me 1 second. Just 1 second. Like, okay, 1 minute. 1 minute, and then I'll let you know. I'm just trying to I just boarded my flight, and I was like, okay, let me just sit down and sort out myself. I'll speak in like 1 minute.
Okay, so while we wait for Ethel to speak with us, so I should mention that Ethel comes with loads of experiences from her time in PANS and IPSF and now YPG. She's the 3rd female national chairman of YPG, PSN-YPG. PSN-YPG is the Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria Young Pharmacist Group. And she's the 3rd female national chairman. In fact, she just handed over
now
this week. All right, now we can hear you. Yes, good.
Over to you.
Yes.
Right. So it's always a delight, like I said, to speak to pharmacy students because I went through I have a lot of experiences. Like if I start speaking, I'm not sure I'm going to finish today. But in all, one of the things I always encourage young pharmacists is that rather than stay on the sidelines and complain, we have a lot of YPs and pharmacy students who sit on the sidelines and complain. Oh, pharmacists, PANS is not doing anything. PANS president is not doing anything. PANS ESCOs are not doing anything. I keep hearing that stuff, and then I ask myself, has any of them ever volunteered to do anything? A lot of the times, people with so many ideas and who are idealistic on stuff, they really never execute anything. So there's one thing I always encourage: volunteering. If you an IPSF is also something that is very important for pharmacy students and young pharmacists. Some persons are really very timid. We a lot of the fights we have in the hospital settings, you know how these things work. You find out that real pharmacists who know their onions will barely fight with other healthcare professionals because we already know that need to encroach into any other person's territory. As pharmacy students, I always encourage you that mix up with other students. It doesn't necessarily have to be you being in one place and just focusing on pharmacy students and all of that. That's the reason why in politics we are not really involved. You see the Nigerian political settings. How many pharmacists are in government? A lot of the times some of the problems we have, we can solve them by lobbying, by advocacies. We don't necessarily have to fight all the times if we take on that initiative. I was Senate president at some point. I was also the national liaison officer of PANS, and I became the reception committee chairperson of AFPS 2018. I was also the internal affairs coordinator for the European regional office of IPSF when I was doing my master's in the UK. And then I came back and became PSN YPG national chairman. I mean, I've found myself working in different teams, in multiracial teams. I have to say that when I was in the UK, I felt really very, at a point, I felt intimidated. Can I use that word? Because, I mean, we have people who have graduated from school, they're in like their early 20s. Some are just like 20 years old, and they're doing so many things. They're doing a lot. And then there's us with ASU strike. You end up being in pharmacy school for like 5 years plus X. Don't even know when you're graduating. So many things holding you back. You can even find yourself repeating a year. it's after I graduated from pharmacy school that I finally found out that pharmacy wasn't so difficult. I mean, the only problem we had was we didn't know how to focus. We didn't know how to focus because we just sit down and say, oh, pharmacy school is hard. And then you start telling yourself that if you look around your classrooms, you find out that a lot of the persons in your class were local champions at some point in their secondary schools. Even those of you in the room currently used to come first in class, check your WAEC results. You had like A's and B's. There's no average student in pharmacy school. So what does that tell you? You're equal to the task. Don't let any pharmacy lecturer make you feel like you're not good enough. Trust me, you're good enough. You're all of that. But then there's also a place of humility. There's also a place of decency. I had 2 conversations with 2 CEOs of two pharmaceutical companies yesterday and day before yesterday, and they had the same thing. They were talking about how employing young people is a problem. We don't know how to focus. We are always entitled, and then we put in a very little into our jobs. Like the complaint is always consistent. I understand that now with the proliferation of tech, we have young people who are making a lot of money. I mean, there's so much money in tech, and then we are also in a hurry to make monies like our peers. It doesn't happen in one day. I always say, if you want to do whatever, invest in yourself. There are certain investments you put in yourself that cannot be taken away from you. You see a lot of persons buying stuff, wanting to show off and all of that. There will be time for all of those things. Attend programs like this. Pharmacy Incubation Hub, I mean, this is a very wonderful program. Leaders in Training by IPSF, I attended one. Trainers Development Camp, I also attended one of those. I've attended multiple leadership trainings. Do an online course. You don't necessarily have to finish and get a certification. You learn something out of it. You don't, because as much as possible, there's so much going on in the world that, in fact, with the with technology, you can do so many free courses online that you don't even pay for. So you don't necessarily learn a language, learn a skill. I mean, we have okay, look at people who travel out of the country. You can go out of the country and you don't have license to practice pharmacy where you're going. You have to do something else that can make you money. We have pharmacists who are caterers. We have pharmacists who are baking. I know that some of you will be rolling your eyes and saying, I mean, how will I get a pharmacy degree and then I'll be a chef or I'll be making hair or one of those things. But these are things that you need to think about. Money doesn't just come. We need to put in a lot of hard work. And another thing is smart work. As much as we talk about hard work literally all the time, there's a place of smart work. Know where to focus your energy. I mean, we all did philosophy. Man, know thyself. What works for you may not work for someone else. I remember when I was in school, one of my lecturers said, you have to sleep for just 4 hours for you to thrive. You don't need 8 hours of sleep. I mean, I was like, what? The day I tried doing TDB, I failed the course. I went for night class with one of my friends for the first time in my life. Pharmaceutical chemistry, my 400 level. I failed it because that system did not work for me. I needed sleep for me to be able to read and understand what I was reading. But certain persons can do 12 hours straight. You just need to know what works for you. I know that we have friends, we are in groups, we are like, okay, everybody is doing this and everybody is doing that. Focus on yourself. Try. Also, take some quiet time and, re-strategize. Sometimes some persons struggle with their grades and all of that, but there are so many things you can do. So please, I think I'm going to get off now. Taiwo knows how to get across to me. If you need my number, you can reach me on WhatsApp. I can't pick normal radio calls because I'm currently out of the country. All right, thank you so much. It was a very wonderful time speaking to all of us.
Thank you so much, Fametel, and have a safe flight. We look forward to having you more subsequently. Thank you so much.
Thank you too. Bye.
Bye. All right, and Ahi, over to you, please. Sadly, Fametel can't continue with us because, yeah, she's currently in transit. But I'm glad that she was able to share a few thoughts with you all. And I believe that all that she has shared so far will, encourage you to commit your best to. She gave you, she was this, she was that, she was this, she was that, she was this, she was that. So what's your excuse in life? What is your excuse in life? You've got no excuse, right? No tangible excuse at all. And she has done so well for herself, even career-wise. And I can tell you that everything she has done from pharmacy school till date has really impacted her as an individual and as a professional. As a professional, she currently works with a I don't know if I should say it's a multinational, but a Pan-African healthcare company, right? And that's interesting. That's very good. That's dynamic. You know, she has the receipts to show for it. And it just points out, it goes on to show that you have nothing to lose when you choose to be active in pharmacy associations and pharmacy activities. All right, over to you, Enahi. Thank you.
Listening from Ethel, simply listening to her makes me feel inspired already. Makes me feel like I need to do 2 times what I'm doing already. It's actually sad that she's not going to be here for now. We hope she'll be able to join us as soon as possible. So I'm going to move over to Lazarus. I hope you're still here with us. I'll be asking you a question, and we are all hoping to draw a lot of knowledge from your answers. So, Lazarus, not many pharmacy students participate in activities of PANS actively, let alone IPSF. Many students are not even aware that there is an association of such. But you were able to move from PANS to IPSF, and you're now the IPSF contact person for PANS. You were able to create such space for yourself. Why did you choose to be different? Why did you choose to drift to a path where a lot of pharmacy students are not even aware of? Why? What made you to move towards this different path? And what has your experience been like so far? Thank you.
Okay. Yes, thank you very much, Ms. Moderator, for this question. It's a very good one. Yeah. What that I won't waste time. What have made me develop interest in, involving myself and actively participating in PANS activity is I'm a type that don't like to just stay and watch a group of persons or people, taking decision without me being there. It's naturally me. So when I stepped into the 4 walls of university in my year 1, I was a kind of studying the whole system. So I tried to calm down and study everything. Then in my year 2, I saw reasons to wholeheartedly participate in PANS activities, in everything. National convention, you see me there. My first national convention was in Port Harcourt. So I was there. That is where I gained the knowledge. I asked questions. I'm good in asking questions. I asked questions, how will I, become an active person in IPSF? Most people that have been there guided me, and that is how my zeal and everything started growing about IPSF. So yes, for me, stepping out, pharmacy students are known for reading books. They don't do most of all these extracurricular activities, but I see it as if you read only without, engaging yourself with other things that comes along, you might graduate with good grade, but at the end of the day, when you find it difficult to fit into the society. That's why I see reasons to, bring all those things along and as we grow. So that is why I actively participated in PANS. And from PANS, now I get to IPSF, because you can't fly. They say charity begins at home. You can only start from somewhere and head to another place. I don't know whether I've answered your question. Thank you very much.
Yes, But what has the experience been like for you? That was also part of the question. So can you just address that quickly?
Okay, yes. My experience, yeah. the truth is that the experience is awesome. And at the same time, the experience is also bitter in a way, because you'll be, others will be, oh God.
Are you still there? He might be having problems with his network. Lazarus, are you still there? Okay, let's just move swiftly to our next guest speaker, Akus Adigizi. I hope I pronounced that correctly. So I'll just move to your question. I hope your network is better.
I don't know where. Oh, can you hear me loud and clear now?
Yes, I can.
All right.
Okay. So Akus, as a pharmacy student, I know how overbearing School of Pharmacy can be. The extensive lectures, the back-to-back tests, and the limited time we have to fit all of these into. And from your bio, I can see that you are a member of Healthy Liver Initiative Just Nigeria, Beacon Youth Movement, LAFIA, the Mental Initiative, and many other extracurricular activities. You have also managed to combine these with full participation in pharmacy associations like PANS, and you're now the PANS president, Unijust chapter. Why did you choose to dive deeply into extracurricular activities and take up these leadership responsibilities, considering that your academic work might be at stake? What led you here?
Okay. Thank you for this wonderful question. I think it so happened that one day, I think in my 200 level, my 200 level, I had to sit myself down, and I was asking myself some series of questions. I think I wrote them down somewhere, if I can still get them, but I can't really see them word to word, but I'll just paraphrase. But like, I think the major question I asked myself was is it that at the end of the 5 years or 6 years, I'll become a normal pharmacist? And if the pharmacist license is taken away from me, what else? Like, if they are to remove the title pharmacist from my name, what will I be known for again? I think that was where I was able to make up my mind. Okay, with or without pharmacy, I can still be somebody else in the society. I can still be somebody else in the world, and even to myself. And aside that, some other questions I was able to answer was the fact that I was able to discover myself right from post-graduation from secondary school, after reading some series of books on self-development and finding purpose for oneself. And I discovered that I fit into the, should I say, the humanitarian and space. So anything that will make me, serve others, anything that has to do with volunteering, anything that has to do with social impact, I'll find myself there. And sometimes the thing works like magic, or like it's a spell. I'll resume one semester and say, Omo, I won't, if they invite me for any event or social activity, I won't attend. But a day or two before, you see myself, I don't know how the thing happens, but I think it has been God all through. And then combining it with academics, looking at the fact that my academics was at stake, because in University of Jos here, it's really not easy. I don't know for other chapters, pharmacy curriculum. Being the class rep for 4 years or 5 years, yes, I think we are admitted 120 in number, but presently we are like 68 or 69. And at some point, I was asking myself, bros, how are you able to manage and scale through, without being withdrawn from the faculty? And if you look at it, right when I came into pharmacy school, I've been attending almost all the convention. But I don't know, I don't really know what to say, but I think the most important thing to me is anything that makes me happy, anything that gives me this fulfillment. That's what I find myself doing. I think in 2020 convention, I think I went there. I was very sick, but I had to go for that convention. I even went with my injectables and some drugs. That's to share the level of I don't know, is it the passion or the joy I find in it? I think that's just the height of it. I don't know if I was able to answer your question.
Yes, actually, you mentioned that you read a couple of personal development books, and that made you to decide confidently that you fit this role. So I'd like to know what is it about yourself that made you so convinced that this is for you? Can you unmute yourself?
Okay. All right. Yeah, I actually mentioned it in between the lines, but it's like I didn't stress it. But after discovering myself that I think I have this humanitarian part of me, so I decided to go into social impact, and that is that for me. So even as a pharmacist, I see pharmacy profession or pharmacy certificate or the pharmacy school as a path to fulfill that which I'm here on earth to do or something. So I don't, not that I'm not going to practice pharmacy, but pharmacy is a channel or a medium. I don't know if you understand. So that's where I don't really see pharmacy studies as the competition. So I think I mentioned something about mistakes. In my year one and year two, I was actually competing with my friends. After I had A in this course, you had B, I had B, you had A. But when I discovered that along the line, I said, this is not a competition. I'll try as much as possible to pass and get my certificate at the end of the day. And I'm actually doing a very good job as long as I'm still in pharmacy school and I'm in my final year now. So to some extent, I can beat my chest that I've tried my best to some extent academically. So I don't really bother myself about, I have 7 tests tomorrow. I have Pants Week to organize. I have this thing to organize. Whenever I'm free, and I think another thing is I attend almost all lectures once I'm available to attend the lectures. Then I read whenever I feel like reading or whenever it's convenient for me to read. If it's not convenient, you find me sleeping or doing any other thing I love doing. I think that's where I stopped the competition. If I feel any test, I don't get bothered. I'll just complain small. Then that's all. Understand? Prepare for the next test or prepare for the next exam. And that's just been the journey in pharmacy school for me.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Actually, competition is serious negative energy, School of Pharmacy. So, can you kindly mute yourself? Okay, thank you. Lazarus, are you in the house with us? Lazarus, are you in the house with us? You can just unmute yourself and speak if you're still here. Okay, I think he's still not able to join us. Akus, I'll be asking you your next question till Lazarus is able to join us.
Okay.
So you are an alumnus of Farmer Incubation Hub Quad 2.
Yes.
And interestingly, you are now the PAN's president, University of Jos.
Yeah.
So how would you say participating in extracurricular leadership activities and associations like Farmer Incubation Hub have helped you better prepare for your position as PAN's president?
Yes.
I don't know if you okay.
Yes. I think I'll first of all start by apologizing. I think I did include that in my bio because I was contacted yesterday and I didn't really have the opportunity, the time to edit the bio. Like the bio has been there for some time now. So I think Farmer Incubation Hub has actually contributed to a very large extent to my exposition to um, team participation, team player, to be a team player, as in a lot of things, I met new people, people that taught me a lot of things. I think my first paper that was published online together with a cohort. I think Abdul Mumin Ibrahim. I don't know. Yes. So he was the one that taught me everything. And we met online. Up to now, we've not met physically. So Farmer Incubation Hub was like a window for me. All this while I've been working inside the room, and I just saw a window and the lights and the breeze and everything just started coming in. So I can't forget Farmer Incubation Hub. I think there was a time early this year when I became the FANS president. I was planning to organize a live webinar on securing scholarship or opportunities abroad for fresh pharmacy students. And I think the first person I reached out to was from Layo. From Layo, yes. I told her about the whole thing, that if she has anybody or knows anybody she can recommend that can speak. And within 2 minutes, she was able to send me contacts. And I messaged most of them. They didn't reply me immediately. I spoke with her. She sent them a message, and immediately they replied me. And that webinar was like one of the most the whole thing, the whole idea is I'm still thankful and grateful to Farmer Incubation Hub. You understand? And I think during our cohort, I think we were grouped into 3 or 4, and I think my team, we won the mini grant, I think, during the COVID, but along the line we were not able to execute the project also because we were like far apart. And also, as a result of the Farmer Incubation Hub, I was able to meet a mentor that up to today he calls me whenever he's free and updates me on things, and I also update him. He was also one time past president. So it's Farmer Incubation Hub is like everything to me in terms of extracurricular activities and even the past presidency. There are a lot of things that I'm doing now that the people I'm reaching out to get some information or contact were people I met during my mentorship, during my training in 2020. People like Fit Omotayo, people like a lot of people in my cycle now or in the cycle of pharmacy. Most of them are from as a result of PIH. So all thanks to PIH. And I think, or I can confidently say, if I had not uh, been mentored by PIH, I don't think I would have gotten to this level now. Because I remember when I was even contesting and campaigning, I saw people from other universities posting my flyers. And people were like asking me, this is your campaign, is it national or a local chapter thing? So, the network was, almost everywhere. You get, so it has actually increased the value I have on myself and on others too, the level of influence and all. So I don't know how to explain the whole thing, but Farmer Incubation Hub has actually made me who I am today. And thanks to the organizers and facilitators. And I also want to encourage you all to seize this opportunity and, give it your all. I remember that time I had issues with data every day, meeting, and it was 2020 or 2020. You have to come online, attend some sessions, do some projects, but they're not giving you money, but you just have to find a way. Let finance not be a resistance or obstacle for you to participate in some of the sessions or projects that you be assigned. So I think that's that.
Fantastic, really. I'm so excited that you shared that. I'm so excited by your own progress. You're really a model pharmacy student that I am proud of. I'm so glad that Pharma Incubation Hub was a great impact made great impact in your journey as a pharmacy student. Well done. I should add, guys, his mentor, the mentor he was paired with in Pharma Incubation Hub, yeah, like he rightly said, was a PANS president in his time in Obafemi Awolowo University many years ago. His mentor also rose to be state coordinator for YPG Lagos. His mentor also attended Harvard University last year, I think. Yes, last year. So you can see that Pharma Incubation Hub gives you access to quality people, but you will not be able to enjoy or harness such access if you don't commit yourself to the process. And I'm glad that he committed himself to the process, and now he's reaping the bountiful rewards from his own personal grooming as a leader, to the network that he can leverage upon, to the access to information that he can leverage upon, and even to the ability to be able to replicate such knowledge in other people. As a leader in a position of leadership, you actually have great power to be able to replicate knowledge to other people, because so many people are looking up to you, right? So many people have access to you, so you need to have access to quality knowledge so that people around you can have access to the quality you. And I'm glad that he's such a quality person, and PANS Kini Just is so lucky to have him as your PANS president. Thank you so much, Akos, and well done to you. All right, Enahi, over to you.
If you're in Pharma Incubation Hub, you're in the right place. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. So Akos, we're going to take the next question. I hope you still have enough energy for us.
Yes, Marcus.
Okay, so we are all aware of the so many reasons pharmacy students have for not participating in extracurricular activities, PANS inclusive. And some persons say there is no time, and that's in fact true. Others do not have, they don't really do well with time management. And to some others, these activities have little or no value to add to them. So these, I'm stating out things people think, PAN sites think. So they feel like, some persons feel like, why should they get involved in these activities when they have to serve people and then sacrifice so much time that they could have invested in their own academic work. So as PANS president, Unijos, what value do you think PANS adds to the lives of pharmacy students? And what would you like to say to people with these beliefs? Did you get me?
Yes, I understand the question. Firstly, I think I listed the benefits from the beginning in the opening, and I would like to state that I think the most important thing is for you to know why you are in pharmacy school or why you want to become a pharmacist. There are different types of pharmacists in the world or in the society or around us now. There are people that are just pharmacists. They go to work by 8, come back by 4 p.m., go to church or go to the mosques and all. So it depends on the future you see ahead about yourself and about the profession. I think that's the drive. That's what will drive you to make some decisions that will make you, do it with or with time, without enough time. Now, the truth is that pharmacy school is stressful. There's actually no time to do some of these things. But if you have a big why, if you have a big reason, you find your way out. I think that's just the most important thing. So if you have a reason to go to pharmacy school, you also have reasons to do other things that even pharmacy school or pharmacy curriculum doesn't provide. Understand? That's where you begin to do away with some competition. That's where you begin to, know yourself. Now, most people find it very difficult to flow in pharmacy school and do other things at the same time because they try to copy what others are doing. Like me, if I'm at home and I see people going to study and it's not the best time for me to study, I just get some sleep or I do some other things like attending online sessions or browsing or doing anything that will add up that is not part of the pharmacy curriculum. I guess me. If it's weekend, instead of sitting down and gisting with my friends, I'll just go to any NGO and volunteer with them, even if it's 1 hour or two. If they're having an outreach or so, I'll just show face, buy their t-shirt, join them 1, 2, 3, 4 hours. I'm back home. I've rested. I don't know if you understand. So if you know the everything still boils back to knowing why you are in pharmacy school or knowing why you want to become a pharmacist. As for me, I don't just want to become the ordinary pharmacist, you know, even without pharmacist or even without pharmacy or being called pharmacist, I should be known for something else. So I can't spend 4, 5, 6 years studying something that once it's taken away from me, I will become nobody else. A very good example was the COVID-19 period. A lot of let's say our lecturers that are pharmacists that are actually not doing other things. We are actually like they became fathers, full-time house husbands or housewives. I don't know if you understand, but those that are into maybe business or doing other things, maybe tech or maybe real estate, we're still able to become, I don't know how to explain it. So the whole thing has to do with the big reason why you're in pharmacy school, and then knowing yourself. Once you know yourself, all those beliefs will no longer be in existence to you. And then for the benefit, I think, and it's on the slide, you breach your comfort zone, you create good networks, you become part of the uh, decision body of PANS, that's the PANS Senate. You learn a lot of skills. You become exposed to leadership skills, communication skills, project management. Like currently now, I think the program just ended. Today is the welcome special for my year 1 student, but I had to set up delegate tasks to people, and I had to step aside just to attend this session. And I believe everything is actually going fine, even without me. So I was just introduced from the beginning, and I just gave my own welcome address, and I left. So after this session, and I'll go back, and I believe other schools and other committee members will handle it because nobody has called me to ask for anything. Why? Because I was able to learn over the years or over the month on how to delegate tasks, how to organize an event. So I believe you learn a lot of things, and all these things are as a result of PANS. I can tell you 110%, I was never taught any of this in the classroom. No professor actually taught me this. Most times it's from my younger ones, people I meet in farmer incubation hub like this, maybe organizations, social impact, community service. You meet people, you see somebody post one important information on the status, you attend the webinar, you gain one or two things there, do online courses, you learn one or two things there, So those are the information, quality information, just as Tewa has earlier said. Once you have access to quality information, it builds up subconsciously. You begin to do things. Sometimes people ask me how I get my own ideas or how I do things. Sometimes I don't really know. I can't even remember where I learned them from, or where I learned that particular skills or idea from. So I actually try to, forget about the fact that there is stress in pharmacy school. I try to give myself time, to learn some personal things that even if at the end of the day I become a pharmacist, I can still become something. So I think there was a day I asked myself, if I give pharmacy 120%, there's high chances that I might not even get the first class. I think that's to me. So why not let me just give pharmacy 60 or 70%, since pharmacy pass mark is 50. Let me be fair enough. Let me give pharmacy 60 to 70, at least A or B. Then 40%, 30% to other things. That's the way I shared the whole thing. So most of the time I'm in school, I'll do everything that has to do with academics. Once it's closing time, pap, I'll go to Pan's office, do one or two things, go home, sleep. If I can read, fine. If I can do my assignment, fine. If I can do my practicals, fine. Then if there's one online session I can join, if I have data, I'll join. Yeah, so that's the whole thing. I don't really give pharmacy 100% of my time. That's for me. But I believe it's actually working for me. And I believe one can actually participate actively in extracurricular activities and still do very well. Like you can still be excellent in your academics. So if you can rule out the fact that extracurricular activities will make you to fail, then I think that's like a win for you. That's like the first step of becoming successful. The mistakes I actually made from the beginning was I was actually doing the extracurricular work activities with fear in my mind. If I go for this conference, if I come back, I won't really have enough time to cover up. You understand? So it was in 2-3 when I overcame that fear. I was relaxed. I'm relaxed now. So if I go to read my books, I'll have a very peaceful and calm mind, and I'll be able to cover within 1, 2, 3, 4 hours. But if I'm tense that, okay, I'm late, my mates were reading, I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. So if you can remain calm, work at your own pace. The good thing about me is I look very calm. Like I just do my thing as if nothing is happening, like as if I'm unbothered. So I even if we have test tomorrow and I'm sleepy or I have anything to do, I'll sleep or I attend to the thing. Then if I have enough time, I'll just go and read my books, go for the exam, or even if I don't finish, I don't know, but I'm somehow relaxed in pharmacy school. Not that I'm not tense, but I'm relaxed to some extent. I don't really compete. I don't really go after people's results. I don't really go after people's scores. Okay, who is ahead, who is not ahead. The most important thing is I pass. I used to ask my friend, after the result come out, we pass or I pass. If I pass, oh yeah, now let's move. I'll go and do another thing. So the beauty of the whole thing is to become a pharmacist at the end of the day. You understand? So that's for me. And that's what has been working for me. And I think I'm not the only one. If you ask around, there are people that are actively engaging in PANS and then are still doing well academically. And I think the only people that are engaging in PANS or doing extracurricular activities and are not really doing well academically are people that are not really focused. They don't really know what they are looking for. You don't know what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. When to ask for help. There's always a smart way to do everything. If I think if I'm having a very short period of time to cover up materials or a particular course, I have friends. Please give me your summary. Me, I'm not actually, most times I go for the A, but B or C is very okay for me. Just give me your summary. I was in the class. So if you can give me your summary, to me, I'm very, very okay. or if I'm having difficulty, come and explain this for me. I reach out to people, both older class and younger one. You understand? So I don't really have problems when it comes to academics like that. But by the time you are doing extracurricular activities, now come, then you still want to do it alone. You're not asking questions. You're not asking for the easy way out. That's where the difficulty, that's where you feel the pain. And those were the things I experienced in my year 1 and year 2. If I go for any program, if I come back, I will still want to do a crash program alone. And it will not really, the result will not really make sense. Highest, maybe C or yes. But by the time I started asking others, okay, they've already read it. Oh yeah, now come and share with me. Just give me, I'll gather here, gather here, gather here. And at the end of the day, I'll come out with the A or a B. Understand? So that's actually the easiest way. But pharmacy is not easy, but that's just the easy way around it. Just know yourself, know what works for you, know what to do, know how to do it, know when to do it. It's very, very important. It's very, very important. I know when to go out, I know when to sleep, I know when to read, I know when to eat, and I know when to visit my friends. I think this one is not only in pharmacy school, but it's something that one needs to learn about life in general. And I think if you can learn that, you'll be more relaxed and you take life as it comes, moment by moment, and you are enjoying it. So I think, sorry, I just said a lot of things at the same time.
Okay, so do you want to say something else?
No. I think I have to stop here.
Oh, okay. So I actually agree on the point you raised. A lot of pharmacy students still don't understand how much of a necessity it is to have something outside of, to learn things outside of what is taught in the classroom. And I feel like the moment you realize how important it is, you become hungry for more of these sort of activities. So it's very important for students, pharmacy students in this case, to see how important it is. So as I just want to ask you a quick question before I move. As PAN's president, is there anything at any point you and your team have done to integrate more pharmacy students into PAN's activities?
Yes. One of the first thing I was to have a town hall meeting. After I was elected as the president alongside my escorts, so I was able to sell this idea to them. Okay, these are people that we're going to serve for a period of yearly session. We need to hear from them. We need to hear their complaints and know how we can tackle it. You understand? So we had a whole meeting where they were able to express some of this you said earlier about the whole pharmacy thing, and we were able to okay, find a level ground. Okay, this is where you can come in. This is where you can come in. That's where we're able to now bring out projects from all the complaints that they made. So we have interactive section. We have class rep forums. There's a way if you have a complaint as a class, you reach out to your class rep. Your class rep will reach out to the PANS executive. PANS executive will now send the feedback. Making them feel belong. Understand? Then once in a while, we organize like a get together in the faculty just to get them integrated in the fact that okay, PANS officials are carrying them along. Then another thing is appointment. There are people that don't really want to do the PANS thing, but as the president, I think the most important thing I was able to do and I noticed is actually working and helping them is for me to figure out people that are having the potential or people that look like or they're showing interest. So I was able to give them some appointment and put them in some committees like this thing that is actually going on now, they were just people that are just selected them and okay, explain the whole thing about the idea of the events to them. And I sold the idea to them and I was able to guide them on how to achieve it. So I believe after this, the whole thing is successful. They will have this blueprint of okay, I was part of the committee that organized an event like this and it was successful. And aside that, we also appointed some to serve as aides to some of the the executives, not just for, should I say, security sake, but just for delegation of tasks. One good thing with me is I don't do everything alone, but most times I feel as if I do everything alone, but I do delegate tasks to people. It makes me accomplish more in a very short period of time. You get so I think delegating those offices to them and those committees to them gives them that sense of belonging that they have to be part and actively engaging themselves in PANS. And another thing is to come
That's
level. I think I've
that's
answered.
yes, you have. That those are very good ideas. I would like to know on your final note what your advice to PANS and PAN sites and PANS executives in the house is. Any advice? Any?
All right, my idea to everyone, my colleagues, is you should see yourself not just as a pharmacy student, uh, but you should see yourself as a prospective pharmacist. In the next few years, you'll be called a pharmacist. And if that pharmacy or pharmacist is taken away from you, what else will you become or what else will you be known for? I don't know if you understand. So you don't just study the pharmacy to become a normal pharmacy, the normal traditional pharmacists that don't really get involved in politics, that don't really get involved in policy making, that don't really get involved in social, that don't really get involved in, hanging out with people, learning about people's perspective and perception about life. One thing about pharmacy students is once they're in midst of people and you're not talking about pharmacology or pharmacognosy, they don't really get involved. But I want all of us to become pharmacy students that wherever you find yourself and people are talking about a particular topic, you'll be able to open your mouth and contribute. Like for me, I can speak for myself. If they are talking about football, I have a little idea about sports, what is going on, music, arts. Like it gives you this I don't know, but I think that's just the advice I have for everybody. Let's just leverage on every information that is within our reach, as long as it's not to the detriment of our academics or our health. I think that's the best advice I need to give everybody. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We should be pharmacists that would know more than just pharmacology and pharmchem.
Yes.
That was an amazing one. Thank you very much for that. So I'd like to believe that there are pharmacy students in the house right now that either previously or currently acted actively in PANS association, PANS activities. So I would like you to raise your hand and unmute yourself to share your experience. It would be really quick because we're running out of time. So if you have an experience with PANS activities and you're here in the house, please kindly raise your hand so we can open the floor for you to speak and share your experience. Please, let's do that quickly. Okay, so we have Ahmed Gololo. You can unmute yourself and speak. Please be fast about it because we're running out of time.
Hello, good day, everyone. My name is pharmacist Ahmed Adamu Godolo. I was the PANS president of University of Maiduguri 2018-2019 session. Actually, I got invited, a friend of mine invited me here, and I have been listening all through, and I thought maybe I should shed some light on things that have been deliberated upon already. First, I think what I would say is the need for pharmacy students to engage in extracurricular activities, especially PANS, cannot be overemphasized because there are numerous advantages. But then, what you should look at, I think, are 3 to 4 things. Number one is network building. During engaging in PANS activities, going by the popular saying that no man is an island unto himself, I think engaging in activities like that of PANS gives you room to build a broader network and meet more people, which is very critical to one's growth in terms of professionalism. I think this is key, network building. And then secondly, the outside world is saturated. Trust me, your expectations might not be met when you get inducted, because it's very saturated, and then you just have to give yourself an edge ahead of other people. So engaging in activities like that of PANS gives you room to build yourself across other ends, and then gives you room to garnish your CV more. I would shed more light about this. I am a living manifestation of how PANS really impacted in someone's life. Currently, I am in Thailand, Bangkok. I'm doing my master's degree in Chulalongkorn University. And I must say that engaging in activities like that of PANS has really helped me, especially during my application process, because I added them to my CV. I have been an active member of PANS starting from 100 level. I was the PRO of PANS at some level. I was the welfare director too at some level. I was the PANS president. And then when I was the PANS president, I doubled as the chief of staff to the SUG president. Some schools call it Student Representative Council, SRC. I was doubling as the chief of staff to the SUG president during my same administration as the PANS president. And then I added all these things to my CV, and they really garnished the CV. And I must say, they were one of the things that really helped me. Currently, for my master's, it's a scholarship that I won. I sat for exams online. I applied and won. It's an institutional-based scholarship. So you could tell me, had it been I didn't engage myself in things like this, I wouldn't have aged other applicants, because the pool of applicants would be very thick. So I think this is also important. Then one thing is equilibrium building, equilibrium establishment. While thinking about engaging in PANS activities, you should make sure you establish equilibrium between your academics and then the unionism. The notion of the fact that grades does not matter in pharmacy school, we are only after C, we only need a pass mark of 50. This is a notion that was sold to us, but I must say that any opportunity I get, I would make sure I bring pharmacists to notice that they shouldn't buy this idea. Your CGPA really matters. You might see as if there is no class of degree and what have you. It matters because there are some jobs or some opportunities you would apply for. There will be need for you to submit your transcript, especially if you're applying for graduate schools. You need to submit your transcript. And then this is what will really help you when it comes to lots of other opportunities. So this is very important also. Try to establish equilibrium between academics and unionism. I was very lucky. I was able to graduate in that stipulated 5 years. I know I was lucky because it is very difficult having saddled myself with these more responsibilities. Then the last thing I want to talk about is the fear of failure. I know some people would be thinking that they would likely not emerge if they get to involve themselves. Maybe they contest, they might not win and what have you. It does not really matter. It builds you for tomorrow. You learn something new. I have always cited this person as an example. His name is Sylvester. He graduated, I think, from Ibinidium University, Okada, I think one time. I cite him as an example because he contested for 7 portfolios consecutively. 7 different portfolios, starting from PANS at school level, PANS at national level. At the end of the day, on the 7th contest, he contested for the global president of the Pharmaceutical Student Society Association, for the Pharmaceutical Student Association, or what have you. I can't remember the name. He contested for this IPSF of it, International Pharmacy Student Federation. He contested for the international president. On the 7th, all the other portfolios he contested, he couldn't win, but then he contested for that. But then, what am I trying to say? Those portfolios he contested gave him the idea to move further and contest. He'll pick 1 or 2 lessons and then move forward. When he contested for this position, he won. I think at a point, was it 2018 or 2019, the global president for pharmacy student was a Nigerian, Sylvester. So, what am I trying to say? Even if you couldn't emerge as the winner, if for example you engage yourself in elections or whatever, it builds you. You learn something new. So don't be afraid. Just try, and then you'd eventually see the fruits along the line. So I think this is all I wanted to say with regards to this. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Are you still there?
Yes, I'm there. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. The story of Sylvester is a very inspiring one. So many take-home messages all in one day. Pharmacists, we're very happy to have you.
Thank you very much.
All right, permit me to just lend a voice to what Farm Ahmed mentioned. Yeah, I think it's critical to mention that it's important to establish equilibrium between your participation in pharmacy school and your participation in pharmacy activities, your PANS activity. Yeah, I encourage you to give your very best to schoolwork. Get an A if you can. Distinction is very important. It's very good. So give your best to it. People who have distinctions can easily get master's scholarships, can easily get scholarships to do their fully funded PhDs abroad. It's very easy for them. But of course, beyond the schoolwork, these scholarship bodies also look for extracurricular activities that people have done. Something that speaks to your leadership capabilities, your abilities to network effectively, or your ability to manage diversity or manage challenges. So create a balance, but don't be a part of the school of thought that says that distinction in pharmacy school is a scam or is not necessary, or that first class is not necessary. No. It is necessary. Give it your best. If you can achieve it, if you can attain it, why not? But the goal really is to strike the balance. Don't say I'll focus only on schoolwork and then dump other things. You wouldn't be a balanced individual. Even if you get all the prizes, you wouldn't be a balanced individual. And don't say, oh, you want to focus on only extracurricular activities and dump pharmacy school. That's stupidity. That's folly, right? Don't be a part of that. So strike the balance, give your best to schoolwork. There are many examples of people who have scaled excellently, the academics, and then they are doing also very well outside of the classroom. And that's what we are grooming you to do in Pharma Incubation Hub, to be people who will excel within the classroom and outside of the classroom. I don't want to hear that you excelled outside of the classroom and you're failing your farm chem, or you're failing your ecology, or you're failing your statistics. That is not good. That's not who we are here. That's not what we do here. We are excellent within the classroom and outside of the classroom. So pay attention to that equilibrium. Well done, guys. And if you need help, you need somebody to advise you on how to manage all of these things, please feel free to reach out to us. Yeah, feel free to reach out to us. Overall, create that balance. Not everybody will get a first class. Not everybody will get a distinction, right? But so don't say, okay, because you're scared of failing as well, you don't want to invest some time outside of in other things. That's not good. These things are possible. So just commit your best week and be wise, just like Akpus already said. Be wise. Don't involve in extracurricular activities and you're not asking people to support you, maybe friends who can help you revise certain things. So support system is very important. I was telling Enai today, when I was in 500 level, a classmate of mine was saying, Tiwo, I feel like I've wasted my time in pharmacy school because I've done absolutely nothing outside of the classroom. Don't be like that. Don't be the kind of person who will gnash your teeth when you're a final year. You feel like you've wasted your time, that you could have done more, that you could have been more active in PANS, you could have built more skills, you could have done this, done that. Just make hay while the sun shines, right? Do your best while you can, maximize the opportunity, maximize your time, and you will be glad for it, really. You will be glad for it. I think we'll have one more person share her thoughts so we can have questions for our speaker, Akpus. All right.
Ayomi-kun, you raised your hand. Are you ready to speak?
Okay. Yes. I was willing to speak before Fam Ahmed took the floor. Well, he has really said most of the things I wanted to say. I've not really spent a lot of time in PANS. I just gained admission into pharmacy last year, May. So I have actually participated, having been an undergraduate in another university for close to about 4 years before switching to pharmacy. The one thing that I think I regretted before I left the former university was that I didn't do anything outside school. Like if it wasn't lecture, if I wasn't in lecture room, I was in what's it called, my hostel, reading books. But then the orientation came and I was like, okay, this is another time to do something. And I started involving myself in academic activities that PANS organized. And from there, even as a 200 level student in my school, I have gained to an extent what some 500 level students have not gained in pharmacy, and we are currently in the same school. Though they've been in the system for more years than I have, but then the experience I have tried to garner and pending saying that, okay, depending on the time I have been in pharmacy school, it has really brought me to a lot of people. In fact, some conversations I've had with other people in pharmacy schools outside of my school, and the people were like, wow, I don't think I really know this person. When I was applying for an IPSF position, when the interview was on, I told the person clearly that, okay, I have discussed at length with more than about 16 chapters LLO that I know very well. I know about 6 of them very well. And I have discussed at length with about 14 or 15 of them online via messages, calls, and she was like, wow, you are a fit for this job. But then because of one experience or the other, I was cut short. But then I still was able to pitch myself. So it is really a good thing to participate in PANS actually. And thanks to all our speakers that contributed to the knowledge we had before about PANS, PSN, and IPSF today.
Thank you very much, Ayomi-kun, for sharing that. We're going to move quickly to the question and answer session. So if you have any question for Akpus, please kindly signify by raising your hand and we'll let the floor open for you. Okay, so if you have any question, kindly signify. Let's be quick about it. Pharmacy students, we don't have questions. We have to have questions. This is something that you should have a lot of questions about, because it's something a lot of us battle with. So please signify, and let's let the floor open for you. Okay, we have Ayomi Kuni again. Please unmute yourself and speak.
Okay, I think my question would be for from Ethel or Metel. I don't think I get her name very well. The lady who spoke concerning the PSN YPG. And the question would be, when is the right time to participate in PSN YPG? I don't think my question is clear, whether you get it very well. Like, as a student in pharmacy school, are you expected to participate in PSN YPG activities, or you should just wait till like you get inducted as a pharmacist before participating?
Okay, all right. Permit me to answer that question from Ethel's behalf. So yeah, YPG is for young pharmacists, 5 years post graduation, and who are less than 35 years, I think. Yeah. So it's really for practicing pharmacists, those who have been inducted. If you are still a student, YPG is not your core association. It's PANS and IPSF. However, we have pharmacy students who participate in some YPG activities, maybe as volunteers. For example, in Lagos, YPG Lagos calls for volunteers, maybe for some health project outreaches, and we collaborate with PANS Unilag. So students from Unilag, for example, can show up for some of our activities. Even some of our conferences as well, they show up, they volunteer as ushers too. So that's really one way to integrate yourself with the YPG community, by volunteering, especially when they put out a call for volunteers. Yes, but you are not members. You're not members. You can only volunteer for some of their key activities. That's really the best you can do. Overall, YPG is for young pharmacists, inducted pharmacists, young pharmacists, about 5 years post-graduation, within about 5 years post-graduation, and about 30, less than 35 years. Yes. I hope that is clear.
Yes, thank you, ma.
All right, yeah.
Okay, does anyone have any question to ask? I personally have a question I want to address to Apus. I hope you're still here with us. I'd like to believe you are. So,
Yes.
Okay, so my question is, you've been actively involved in extracurricular activities, PANS and so many others. I'd like to know, if you were to tag one experience as the greatest regret you've had, what would it be?
Okay. I think I can't really pick out one, but there are a series of them where I have clashes, as a result of workload, maybe from past activities. I think what is happening right now, I think is a very good example. I was part of the PSN. Can you hear me? Okay. I was a part of the committee for the PSN, just the concluded PSN conference. And to some extent, I've been involved from the beginning, that is from the one till today. And my executives are just finished the program now, just a few minutes ago. And then I'm having this online session with you all. So it's actually not easy to like find yourself in this situation. It's, I don't know, but I think I slept this morning around 5 a.m. and I had to go to the event place and make sure everything is set up. And there are some fan sites that came from other universities. They actually needed me to take them around Jos, since to some extent I'm the one hosting them in Jos, since they are fan sites. So all these things, trying to, there's actually no time for myself. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. So there are several other um, situations that appears like this too. And sometimes it turn out good, sometimes turn out bad. But like right now, I'm actually stressed. I won't lie. But I'm just trying to see how I believe everything is just working out fine. The situations like this, I don't really see them as failures or as loss, you know, but I see them as I'm learning from them. Before, I used to freak out, but now so many things are going on simultaneously. And I think the program, I just left the event and it went well. And I believe this one also is going well. And the conference, I actually delegated somebody to be there. And they said they've told the town. I sent them addresses. And I believe I'm improving. And I think that's the beauty of life. You learn every day. But before now, I used to break down, or sometimes I'll just have to skip classes and go home and rest or something. That's actually very bad to do that because of stress and all. So I think those are some of my regrets and all. But in all, I think I'm improving and learning how to manage everything to balance it. I think it's cool.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for your time. I've learned so much in one day. Thank you for availing yourself to be here for pharmacy students for this farmer incubation hub today. Would like you to quickly give a closing remark, very quickly, because we're running out of time.
Okay. All right. To end this conversation or interaction on active participation in pharmacy association, beginning with PANS, IPSF, YPG, I think I'll still reinstate what I've said earlier. The beauty of everything is at the end of the day, you become a pharmacist with a difference. And not just a pharmacist, but you become a human being that has actually impacted lives, at the end of the day. So whatever it is that you are doing or you find yourself doing, give it your best shot. Don't allow the stress, the negative energy around you to make you not do what you want to do, because it's not easy. So just find a way to fit into the system, make yourself comfortable in the system, and find a way to, stand out in all that you do. The pharmacy school, pharmacy is stressful, but you can still participate in extracurricular activities like FANS, YPG, and the rest, and still do very well in your academics. So I believe it's an outstanding thing to do if you can do balance the two. So I will have to stop here, actually by the roadside. So good night, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We've spent so much time here, but it's been absolutely worth it. It's been worth every second. It's already 6 p.m. and we would be calling it a day. Please endeavor to share your key takeaways on LinkedIn and tag our speakers. We are going to get their social media URL, hopefully on the general group chat. And you could also drop your takeaways on the WhatsApp group chat for everyone to benefit from it. And thank you all for being here with me till this time. You guys have tried. We would call it a day now. Thank you very much. It's been an amazing session with all of you. Good night.